Good afternoon, students. In last class, we were discussing about the different agents of the pollination, that is abiotic agents and biotic agents. In abiotic agents, we studied about the wind and the water, and biotic agents, we studied about zoophily. In zoophily, we studied about entomophily. We studied about entomophily, which is nothing but pollination by insects. Entomophily is nothing but pollination by insects. And in that, we studied about, in zoophily, we studied about different types of the pollination done by the different types of insects and mammals, birds, bats, snails, slugs, and ants. In today's class, we'll continue the discussion. We will study about scantherophily. What is this scantherophily? Now, cantherophily is nothing but pollination by beetles. Okay, the pollination done by the beetles is nothing but known as cantherophily. It is known as cantherophily. Now, how it is done and why it is called as cantherophily? Here, the cross-pollination of flowers by beetles. Cross-pollination means you know that the pollination which takes place between the two different flowers on the different plants but of the same species. The cross-pollination of flowers by beetles that feed on the pollen means they intake pollen grains or some of the juicy tissues of the flower, that is the nectar of the flower. That is nothing but known as cantherophily, where beetles are the mediator for the pollination process, where the beetles are the moderator for the pollination process. Special suitability for cantherophily is generally not observed among the flowers and the beetles, means there is no special any characteristics, but the pollination is done by beetles and it is known as cantherophily. In return, they get pollen grains and nectar as their reward. So this is the another type of pollination. With this, we come up or end or wrap up this topic, that is known as pollination process, means the mediator of the pollinator. Hereafter we will learn or we will study about how the pollination takes place and about the outbreeding devices or outbreeding techniques. Coming to this topic, outbreeding devices. Now, what is this outbreeding devices? So what happens as because the plant undergoes self-pollination process again and again, that is continuous self-pollination taking place in within the one plant, yes, or within the one flower. So what happens there, it comes in a state where it undergoes inbreeding depression. Yes, inbreeding depression. Inbreeding depression is nothing but where it stops its self-pollinating process. Yes, or it undergoes one kind of a ban on the self-pollination process. It is known as inbreeding depression. Now you will be like, you'll be asking me, what is this, ma'am? What is this inbreeding depression and all? Inbreeding depression is nothing but incompatibility, means it is a kind of a stoppage or kind of a ban on the self-pollination process. Okay, that means the pollen will not germinate. The pollen will not germinate and the pollination process will not take place for the fertilization. For the fertilization. So because of the pollination again and again, the same self-pollination process taking place within the flower, it will undergo one inbreeding depression. Inbreeding depression means a kind of a state where it will not be able to germinate. A kind of a state where it will not be able to germinate. So there are some of the outbreeding devices. Now, what is this outbreeding devices? A ways of avoiding self-pollination process. Yes, a ways of promoting or kind of avoiding the self-pollination process. Because of that incompatibility of the growth of the pollen grains on the stigmatic surface, that causes inbreeding depression. Yes, that causes inbreeding depression. Now, there are ways of how to avoid the self-pollination. One is pollen release and stigma receptivity not synchronized. Yes, pollen release and stigma receptivity is not synchronized, means the pollen will release first. The pollen will release first and the stigma will not mature at all. The pollen matures at one time, stigma will not mature. Whereas in some time, stigma will mature, pollen will not mature. So both will not happen together. Sometimes pollen will mature first, pollen will release faster, whereas the stigma do not mature at all. Stigma receptivity is not there. Whereas in sometimes stigma will mature, pollen will not release, pollen will not mature. So these are the some of the ways to avoid the self-pollination. One among them is this: pollen release and stigma receptivity not synchronized. So this is an important question. It can be asked for you as a definition about to tell about the outbreeding devices and also about this. Now, when we are speaking about the first one, and that is pollen release and stigma receptivity not synchronized, we come under this. That is nothing but dichogamy. It is one of the important definition. Dichogamy can be asked, or it can be asked in this way also. Give one short note on the outbreeding devices. Now, what do you mean by dichogamy? Dichogamy is nothing but in a bisexual flower where both male and female gametes are present, male and female reproductive parts are present, mature at different times. Yes, mature at different times. Now, what do you mean by this? That means stigma will mature first, anther will not release at all. That means what? When the pollen grains do not release, there is no chance of the self-pollination. Yes or no? Because stigma is already matured, pollen are not released. And sometimes pollen will release, stigma will not become mature. And it will not provide a space for the pollen grains to grow or uh, to form the pollen tube. So this is nothing but dichogamy, and it is one of the important definition. Okay, so what is dichogamy? In the bisexual flower, male and female reproductive parts mature at different times. Yes, they mature at different times. That means the male gamete will mature first and female gamete will mature later. Yes, female gamete will mature later. That is the female gamete will mature first, male will mature later. That is the anther will mature first, stigma later. Stigma will mature first and anther later. So that is nothing but called as dichogamy. In dichogamy, there are two types: protandry and protogyny. There are two types: protandry and protogyny. Now, what do you mean by this? Protandry is nothing but androecium matures earlier to gynoecium. Yes, the male gamete or the anther or the pollen grains will release earlier than the gynoecium, that is the stigmatic surface or the ovary. Yes, protandry is nothing but androecium matures earlier to gynoecium. Example is cotton and sunflower. And protogyny is nothing but where the gynoecium matures earlier to androecium. The female reproductive part matures earlier to the male reproductive part. Female reproductive part matures earlier to the male reproductive part, and that is nothing but 4 o'clock plant it is. Yes, 4 o'clock plant. Here, once again, I'm telling you, Dichogamy is nothing but in a bisexual flower, male and female reproductive parts mature at different times. In dichogamy, there are two types, protandry and protogyny. Protandry is nothing but where androecium matures earlier to gynoecium. Example, cotton and sunflower. And protogyny, gynoecium matures earlier to androecium. That is, the female reproductive part matures earlier to the male reproductive part. And the example is 4 o'clock plant. Next, coming to hercogamy. Now, what is this hercogamy, students? Hercogamy is nothing but a physical barrier between the anther and the stigma that can prevent self-pollination. S, a physical barrier between anther and stigma that can prevent self-pollination. Here what happens? Between the anther and the stigma, there will be one physical barrier where it will not allow the pollen grains to grow the pollen tube. S, pollen grains to grow the pollen tube. So this is one again, one more barrier which will be formed, which will not allow the pollen tube to grow, and it will avoid the self-pollination process. It will avoid the self-pollination process. Yes. So what happens here? First thing you need to remember, ways to avoid self-pollination. First one is dichogamy. In dichogamy, what happens? There are two types, protandry and protogyny, where androecium matures earlier, gynoecium later. Gynoecium matures earlier, androecium later. So this is dichogamy. So now what is hercogamy, students? Hercogamy is nothing but a physical barrier will be formed there. What will be formed? A physical barrier will be formed between the anther and the stigma that can prevent the self-pollination process, and the example is Calotropis. The example is Calotropis. Now, coming to pollen pistil interaction. Coming to pollen pistil interaction. So what happens here? From the deposition of the pollen on the stigma till the pollen tube enters the ovule is called as pollen pistil interaction. Yes. So what happens here? The pollen tube will come on the stigmatic surface. It will sit on the stigmatic surface. Then it will form the pollen tube with the help of the sugary content and nutrition present on the stigmatic surface, and it will start growing a pollen tube. Yes, the start growing a pollen tube. Now, what is this pollen pistil interaction? Pollen pistil interaction is nothing but, think it is a flower. You have a sunflower in your hand. So what happens here? The pollen grains will come and land on the platform or the surface of the stigma. Yes, of the stigma, and the pollen grain will start forming a pollen tube. With the nutrition present in the stigmatic surface, it will start forming a pollen tube, and it enters the ovule. It enters, the pollen tube will form, and it will go into the ovary. It will go into the ovary. That is the megasporangium. You know the structure of the megasporangium. You know that there is a space, that is a micropyle present there, where it can enter through the micropyle and fertilize the egg. So till there, that process is known as pollen pistil interaction, where the pollen grain will come on the stigmatic surface, place on the stigmatic surface, form a pollen tube with the nutrition present there. The pollen tube then will enter inside the ovule, is the megasporangium of the flower, and that whole process is known as pollen pistil interaction. Students, you need to imagine over here. So what happens? You have got a sunflower in your hand. In the sunflower, there is a landing surface. So what happens? The pollen grains will come, sit onto the stigmatic surface, and the pollen will form the pollen tube, then enter inside the ovule or the megasporangium, and that whole process is known as pollen pistil interaction. Yes, it is known as pollen pistil interaction. So in this pollen pistil interaction, first one is recognition of the compatible pollen. Yes, first it has to be recognized whether the pollen grains which is coming and placing on the stigmatic surface, whether it is a pollen grain of the sunflower or not. Yes, first is nothing but the recognition, means understanding whether this pollen grain is of this flower or not. First is recognition whether this pollen grain can germinate or not. Next one is germination of the pollen grains and then the development of the male gametophyte. So that is the formation of the pollen tube will takes place, and then the male gamete will enter inside the megasporangium. So recognition of compatible pollen, students. Here what happened? Stigma self-incompatibility. Yes, self-incompatibility, stigma and anther placed at a different positions. So these are the some of the ways to avoid the self-pollination process. Yes, some of the ways to avoid self-pollination, that is pollination taking place within the flower. So what happens here? Stigma and anther placed at different positions. Yes, stigma and anther are not placed in a position where they can pollinate the flower, where the pollen grain can pollinate the flower. Next one is self-incompatibility. Self-incompatibility is nothing but where the flower itself becomes incompatible to germinate the pollen grains. To germinate the pollen grains. And other thing, the fourth one is production of unisexual flowers. Yes, production of those flowers which only produces male gamete or the female gamete. Male gamete or the female gamete. Example is castor, maize prevents autogamy, that is self-pollination. Papaya prevents autogamy and geitonogamy, that is the both are self-pollination process, whereas autogamy is within the same flower. Geitonogamy is the pollination which takes place within the same plant. Yes, within the same plant where both the flowers are present. So here you need to remember some of the ways to avoid self-pollination is pollen release and stigma receptivity not synchronized, that is dichogamy, where one matures earlier than the other. Stigma and anther placed at different positions. They are placed in different positions where they do not self-fertilize it or pollinate it. Another one is self-incompatibility, where the flower itself becomes incompatible to germinate the pollen grain. Yes, and production of unisexual flowers. You all know what is do you mean by production of unisexual flowers, where it only produces the male flower or the female flower, either having the male gamete or the female gamete. The examples are castor and maize and papaya. Papaya, you all know, it produces either male flower or the female flower. So these are the some of the outbreeding devices you need to know, and you to also you need to know what are the ways of the where the self pollination can be avoided, where the self-pollination can be avoided. And what is this outbreeding device? Outbreeding device is nothing but where and why it has been introduced, because of the continuous self-pollination, inbreeding depression takes place, where it will not be able to pollinate itself, where it will not be able to pollinate itself. Next, coming to dichogamy, you know that in that protandry and protogyny, and one more is hercogamy is present. There are different examples. The definition are important. Next, coming to pollen pistil interaction, I already told you what it is. From the time where the pollen grain comes to the stigmatic surface, it forms its own pollen tube, enters into the ovule. That whole entire thing is known as pollen pistil interaction, and it is very important definition. Pollen pistil interaction is a very important definition. You need to know it, because the definition can be asked for you, and also about the recognition of compatible pollen. What do you mean by compatible pollen here? Compatible pollen is nothing but where the flower recognizes, or the stigmatic surface recognizes, whether this pollen grain is of my flower only or not. Yes, it is of my flower only or not. That recognition. Yes, you all know, right? There will be this face recognition in your mobile phones, thumb recognition and all, so that it recognizes it's you only. Yes, it's you only. Only after recognizing that face recognition or the thumb recognition, only then it opens, right? Your phone can be opened. Other once it recognizes you only. In similar way, once it recognizes the pollen, only then it can germinate.